This is a simple earring project that looks very elegant. It's a branch dangly earring that you make with head pins and beads. What you'll need for it are 10 beads, 10 head pins, and some ear wires. I also have some seed beads here because I know that these head pins have a really tiny head stop. Very simply, you thread your bead onto your head pin. Make sure it doesn't pull through. Now, these pulled through. The ones I have already done have nice big head pins and they didn't require anything else. This one, because the bead hole is larger than the head pin end, will get a seed bead on the end. That's a really good fix anytime your head pin is too small for the bead. So there I have one strung up. I'm going to do these one at a time so you can see exactly what's happening. For each branch, you'll have one bead, or one bead and a seed bead, and about 8 millimeters down, I'm going to bend my head pin at a 90-degree angle. And I'll take my round nose pliers and make a loop. I'm going to get the loop right to the end. And go over and over again. I have a perfect little loop there. And I'm going to flatten it out and straighten it. If you have any kind of gap, which I don't, but I'll pretend, you just push it in. Push those wires together. Now that's how it's held on. They're very dangly, they're very loose. That's your first bead. Make a second one. Seed bead if you're using it, then a bead. Now before I bend this one, I'm going to take the one I already created, put that loop right over. You see that? That's how you get the branching effect. And do the same thing. Doesn't really matter here which way you go, what direction, or even if your loops are exactly the same size. I suppose you could always measure them if you're nervous, but it doesn't really make a lot of difference in the finished earring. I'm going to bend over that loop with my round nose pliers. There we go. You'll see this loop is actually a little bit smaller than the other one. Put it into place. And now I have the first branch. I'm going to set that down. Take another head pin, beads, thread this through. You see it'll just fall in the right direction. You don't have to worry about how you line them up. Loop. See, I have a little gap, so I'm going to close that. fourth one. If you lose track of where you're up to, just dangle it. Thread my fourth bead through. Bend. Loop. Now, a lot of times I like to do this with 22 gauge wire. Makes the branches a little stiffer. The loops are a little bit harder to do, but they're more secure that way. That's my fourth one. My fifth one, bead. I'm going to string this one on. You can see how it's coming out. There we go. Bend. I didn't make my bend far enough. Bend. Loop. Set that down. To put earring wires on, you figure out which way the wire is not attached, and you just give it a little 20-degree angle out. Don't pull down, you have to pull away. And attach your earring to the wire. And you have your first beautiful dangle. You can see, depending on what colors you use and what kinds of beads you use, you can get very different looks for your branches. And that's it. I'm going to make another one exactly the same, and I will have a pair of gold and purple beaded earrings.